evening and welcome to yet another edition of Capital Straight Talk. This is Capital FM and I'm your host, Brian Banda. The program today is coming to you under the auspices of Prominent Paints.
In association with PPG, the second largest paint manufacturer in the world, Rainbow Paints presents Prominent Paints.
So much quality squeezed into one tin of paint.
Prominent Paints are specifically designed to suit African climatic conditions and are the perfect companion for the asset owner and painting contractor. Imagine a paint that will mend cracks on the wall, waterproofing and shedding dirt in the process.
Prominent Paints, backed by more than 125 years of American expertise, with 125 factories in 60 countries on 6 continents. Add lots of class and glamour to any building. Go for Prominent Paints in plaster primer, universal undercoat, interior and exterior matte acrylic, shea premium interior, satin premium exterior, gloss enamel and roof acrylic. All available at Rainbow Paints Limby and Lilongwe, and at all reputable builders and hardware merchants in Malawi.
Today in the program, we talk to the president of Malawi People's Party, Uladi Musa. Honorable Uladi Musa, thank you very much for joining us in this edition. Most welcome.
Thanks so much, sir.
Who is Uladi Musa?
Uladi Musa is one who has been a member of parliament for Salima South since 17th May 1994, non-stop up to now. But also I've been cabinet minister for a number of years, 7 years with the Mruza administration and 3 years, almost 3 years with Bingu's administration in various ministerial portfolios. But also I've been holding very high positions in both UDF and DPP. In the UDF I was the deputy national campaign director, but also regional governor for the center. In the DPP I was the first vice president, second to Bingu in the entire DPP party. But after what happened, we formed our own party, and I'm the interim president of the Malawi People's Party.
Why did you part ways with the president? Because you are the founding member of the DPP.
Yes, I was a founding member of DPP, and I even laughed when he said he started the party alone, because there were so many people who started with the party, who started it.
So he did not start the party alone?
No, he didn't start the party alone. There were people who encouraged him to start the party. One of them might be myself, Gwanda Chakwamba, Joyce Banda, Zikale Ngoma. These are the first people. Later, Ntaba, Kachari, Hampepo, all these are the ones who
So for the president to say he started the party alone, it's a mistake?
No, it's not true. It's not really true. Because even in the technical formation of the party, I did it myself. Or Mike Anduna, a number of women, my Ben in Central Region, my Pambano can be my witness that I technically formed that party. So it's not true that he formed it himself. So we formed it. But we know the problems which are laws is that there are a number of problems. One, there are some people who are most unpopular in the areas who have surrounded the president. These are always their responsibilities to tell misinformation, twisting issues to the president. But also there was a plan which most of us didn't know.
What was the plan?
Clearing the way for anybody who wants him to take over from him. So these are two issues which
I want to tell this radio that you were deliberately frustrated so that the plan that you're talking about should come to pass?
I think that's one way, because there are number, the people have been removed from DPP. They are very prominent people who had a lot of influence in the party. One of them, started with Gwanda Chakwamba, Uladi Musa, Lafuka Sambala, the number. And after that, some were still in the DPP, but practically they're out of it. Duncan Mpoya, Henry Musa, very prominent people who are able to advise the president properly, who are bold enough to inform the president what the constitution requires. But I'm not worried.
I didn't hear you properly on the plan that the president and indeed the party has, that has made prominent people like you to be removed from the party. Can you come again? What is the plan that you're talking about?
Oh, the plan you know very well.
I don't know the plan that you're talking about.
No, I'm saying what I've seen in DPP is they are trying to clear the way for somebody the president wants to take over
And
power.
who are you referring to?
No, you know I can't.
I don't know. This is Capital Straight Talk. Can you tell me who the president is preparing the way for?
I think you hear that of Professor Peter Ntalika. I think you hear this. And we've been together from the word go when Bingu was nominated as a presidential candidate in UDF. We've been moving together around. And I heard that rumor some time back. I was briefed by the late Mahinga Nkandawire, you know, I've been a member for Rumbi Center. That's the one who briefed me that I think there's a hidden plan somewhere. And you people have to be very careful. And this is what is happening now. Joyce Banda, what has happened to her? What wrong did she do? Kachari, the rest, the removal, the political weeding will go on and on until...
so you want to confirm with us that there are people that will be removed as we go towards 2024?
You heard it from the president saying those who are in conformity with what we are doing, they should resign. Voluntarily, they should resign. You see, those who disagree with the way the president is handling issues in the DPP, you should actually resign. You heard this. What is this that they disagree with? It's the coming in of the candidate the president wants.
Do you think the principles on which the party was formed for are still relevant today?
Some are relevant, but on the governance, on the democracy, they're off the track. But on the development issues, I think it's still going on. But you need to appease those who be the implementers. So implementers are living in fear. These are directors, PSCs, and the rest. They are living in fear, as you heard the message yesterday, that they will be dismissed. You know, when you're working and you feel that there is job security, there is no job security, you feel scared. And instead of planning, you are busy of saying as to when you'll be removed. So these are some of the problems we face with this. So on development issues, there are good plans somewhere, but to implement them, to reach the rural people, is a problem. On the governance, also a problem. It's really a problem. You know, the president inciting genocide, that the party should come in to fight people, to beat people.
You think that is inciting genocide?
Definitely. The president have full protection of the army. That's what I know. There is the guard commander from the police. There is a DC from the army. Fully protected. What further protection does he want? So he's fully protected. That's inviting that the party should start beating, as we're experiencing during the one-party regime, as we're also experiencing partially with UDF.
You have been a member of parliament since 1994 until today.
Yes.
What do you think is your motivating factor? What has sustained you to be a member of parliament? Because as you know, the people that you started together with, they are no longer members of parliament. What is your secret to your staying in parliament?
Yes, for your information, those who were elected in 1994 up to now non-stop, there are only 3 in the house. Out of 192 people, there are only 3. That is the president of MCP, Jezedi Utembo, Abubakar Mbaya of Mangochi East, and Uladi Musa speaking. These are the only 3 people who have been in the house since 1994.
What is your secret?
The secret is that you should know that you are elected by the people. You have always to live with the people. You have always to implement things, wishes of the people. Once you are of the people, not for yourself, definitely you can go on and on being elected as a member of parliament. But if you cut off the relations with the people and you implement your own things, anytime you can be uprooted and removed completely.
Do you think the democracy that people fought for in 1993-94 is the kind of the democracy that we have right now?
No, right now the democracy is dying. Democracy is dying. You know, democracy means that it's a government of the people, and for the people and by the people. And in that one, there are a number of people, implementers, who actually all together compose the democracy. Actually, when they are together, they try to implement the principles of democracy. What are these? The first is the executive. They should have their own powers. Then judiciary. They should have their own independence, their own freedom of presenting issues, and they should have their legislature. But also, in addition to this, you must have implementers, those who could implement the policies of the government. These are the civil servants. So these are problems. And in addition to this, those who try to enhance transparency, accountability, and rule of law, they are the press. The press, the newspapers, print media must be free to write whatever they have found out in these people, done by the executive, done by the judiciary, done by the, but there are problems now. You cannot freely implement this. You cannot freely write anything. It will be in problems.
How should people listening to us right now, Honorable Musa, take you seriously? Because you have been with Kamuzu, you have been with Bakili Muluzi, you have been with Bingwa Mutharika, and now you are alone as the president of Malawi People's Party. Should we really take you seriously?
People should take me seriously. Why? Because with Kamuzu, it was, yes, I was on the list to be nominated as a member of parliament for Salima South. Just for, maybe I have been with Kamuzu only for 2 hours at Sanjika when he was about to nominate, Dr. Band was given powers to nominate somebody to become a member of parliament. So that time I was so young, I was left, but I was on the list. I went to Sanjika on 19th November 1988 to be nominated. That was the only time where I got associated with MCP. But I've never been actively, actually been MCP actively. No, never. But in UDF, yes, I've been in UDF. You know the problems which are there. And I've been in DPP, as I've told you, that the problems that is the weeding formula, weeding exercise which is there in the DPP. That's why I'm here, in this party of MPP, which we're lining this party. I'm not really regretting that.
You don't regret?
I don't.
Coming from the
no, I don't regret, because as I'm speaking now, I've been so close to the former president, Dr. Bakili Muluzi. I also been so close to Dr. For them, I compare and contrast. I compare their way of life, I compare their administration and the contrast. I can assess their, in short, I can say, I know what is bad in the administration of Muluzi and what is good for the people in the administration of Muluzi. I also know what is bad in the DPP and what is good for people.
What is good in the DPP?
Good is, in the DPP, is some sort of planning, some sort of management, but they are doing this in a very great way. They are controlling everywhere. That's where the problem. But there's some sort of management, some sort of financial prudence in the DPP. But these are some of the things which I said I have learned in the administration of Bingwa Mutharika.
Did you form the Malawi People's Party out of mere frustration, or you indeed have an agenda of your party?
I have the agenda. You know why have I been so removed in the DPP? Just because they looked at me as a leader. Definitely as a leader. When we started the party immediately, when he was announcing the official members of the executive, we approved and consented that I should become first vice president of the party. But it's not coming from there. We started together some time back in UDF, because when Bing was being tipped as a presidential candidate of UDF, I was also tipped as his running mate. So our relationship started some time back. So that's why we found together working in the DPP. That's why I followed him strongly and I supported him strongly using my own resources. So I don't really regret. I have vast experience of how UDF was being run. I've got experience of how DPP is run, the part and the government, and also in DPP and UDF part and government. So I've got that vast experience.
What are you believing in as far as your party is concerned? What is there that you can give the people of Malawi through Malawi People's Party?
Yes, I think what you should know, this government, where I say that MPP should come in now, 2014, is that we need to enhance our policies of agriculture. I don't really believe that people should only be encouraged to grow maize. Maize alone, there is no food nutrition. We need nutrition. We need to grow various crops in addition to maize. Rice, fruits, vegetables, all these needed to be enhanced, but also livestock. Because, these things, I said one day in Parliament that just to feel that you have filled your stomach, it does not matter. But what have you eaten for your nutrition?
And when you're talking of the Malawi People's Party, are you serious? You are a serious party and you're looking towards 2014 positively?
Yes, I'm very, very serious. And even the agenda I have, issues, ideologies which I have, I want to implement. They are really serious. Firstly, I want to enhance food security and nutrition. Not only food security, but also nutrition must be enhanced in this country. But also, another problem is that this government is controlling things everywhere. Malawians are paying heavily for staying in their own country.
What are you insinuating?
I'm saying whatever service you want to be rendered by the government, you have to pay for it heavily. The motor vehicle license, passport, in case there is an emergency and you want by tomorrow to fly with your children or with your child to South Africa, you have to pay more. Yet the normal price is 15 kwacha. Since you need it urgently, you have to pay more, additional 15,000 kwacha. And more than that, this is totally unfair to Malawians. You know, we are paying heavily taxes, multiple of them, but also all these services are very, very heavy for Malawians. So we need to address some of these issues in this country. So our democracy is dying. We want the freedom to write, the press to write what they have seen. We